which I will do here. So I found the person I wish to send the call to. At this point, I have the ability to press F2 to do a blind transfer. I have the ability to press F4 to start a supervised transfer, F6 to transfer it to their voicemail, and F8 to do a park for that person. I'm just going to hit F2 to do a blind transfer like we've done before. As you can see, the screen will now go back to where we were prior to our command, so we can see the call ringing to the person we transferred to and them eventually talking. Now, the fifth and preferred method for transferring is using the right click. And I'll show you why we prefer that. So we've answered the call. When we right click on this person, we're presented with a pop-up menu. This is the preferred method for this reason. Right from here, we now have the ability to do a transfer to, which is a blind transfer like we've been doing. We have the ability to do a supervised transfer, which would automatically put this call on hold, call the person we are wishing to transfer the call to, let us speak with them for a moment, confirm that they can handle the call, and then press yes to send it through. We also have the ability to transfer it directly to their voicemail, as well as park for, etc. I'm going to do a supervised transfer just to demonstrate that function. As you can see, the call has been placed on hold automatically, and now we are calling extension 3001 as well, as our second call has lit up here. Extension 3001 answers the call, and we are speaking with them, telling them they have a call from 3092 or whomever it would be for. At this point, they say, great, I'll take that call. All we have to do is click the yes button to complete it. As you can see, the holded call is now gone, and those two parties are talking to each other. That was all done without touching the telephone handset at all. We also have, as seen, the ability to read whether or not a phone has been forwarded. An extension that we offer on top of that is forwarding done by our TAPI connector. In the event that Joe Kowalski was sick today and I needed to cover his calls, I have the ability to forward his calls to me for 8 hours. Once I do that, the display will indicate that those calls are now forwarded to me for all DOC users to see. This is not done on the phone, so it can be done with the office door locked or in a separate building. This will actually automatically expire after 8 hours and return to normal, so you don't have to remember to unforward it either. Now with the full operator console, we have the ability also to do a custom forward. Now this would let you forward from any extension to any number for any given amount of time. That can be a handy feature. It gives you just an extension of the forwarding that's available on the phone. It doesn't write anything in the Cisco databases, because that's one of our principles. We are merely observe and report. We only read. And essentially what the TAPI connector does on the server side is when it sees a call coming into that person, it does an immediate blind transfer on that call. One of the other features we have, the TAPI connector can be instructed to listen for somebody dialing 911. If that happens, it can send an alert email to an email recipient or distribution list of your choice. This serves a couple of purposes. The first, if it is an actual emergency, it gives the person who you designated or distribution group the ability to see who dialed it and direct emergency services in the appropriate direction. If it was dialed by mistake, it also quickly gives you information about that so that any emergency services people can be notified of an error, and the user can be instructed on how to better use their phone to not accidentally dial 911. Our program also has, inside the full version and the Park4 client, the ability to chat via user to user. As you can see, I've received a message, and it's that easy to send one back. Both the Park4 client and the full console also give you the ability to set your status. So if you needed to be able to have status information without the ability or use of Lync or Cisco Presence or any other client, you can do that in our program as well. As I mentioned before, we do have an Exchange connector as well that will automatically read calendar information system-wide and display availability of users based on that too, which does give the phone operator an extended amount of data in order to properly direct the calls to the person in need. For users who are outside of the phone system that also need to be able to be called or calls transferred to, we have a couple of options. The first of which is the My Address Book. Now this will load up any number of searchable categories with external users that you deem you want to add. Now these are strictly built for a particular user, although as you can see here, you have the ability to copy a certain category that I'm on to any of the other users if I like. I also have the ability to import an exported Outlook CSV of contacts. In many cases, the phone operator may need to have the contacts to be able to make calls for that person's supervisor or boss. Contacts can be emailed, called, created, edited, or deleted here. In addition to that, you have the ability to right-click and transfer a call to that number or do a supervised transfer to that number if you are on an existing call. Now, if you do a search and you don't find who you want, you can also click here and it will carry that search over, so you don't have to search twice. The same principle applies for our Active Directory phone book. In many cases, in a large organization, your phone system will not contain all the users in the entire company. There will be several phone systems that are trunked together where you may be able to dial through a trunk to a person in another city, state, or country, but not see their call status. In this case, if your company makes use of the Microsoft Active Directory, you can use this function. Say I'm looking for Joe Edwards. So I type in Joe, but I only find Joe Kowalski. Now I know this call is for Joe Edwards, so he must work perhaps at another facility. Having said that, I can click on the Active Directory users, and as you can see, that'll pop up also, searched for Joe, and I found Joe Edwards. Now I'm able to transfer the call to any of his numbers or do a supervised transfer the same way. I can also click on Extension Properties and view any information that he may have in the calendar information, which this particular user does not. The Active Directory phone book is created automatically by the TAPI connector if you have such a service enabled. The icons here allow you to rearrange any people in any order that you want. Perhaps you want to move people that you deal with most up towards the top of your list and save it. You're able to do this, and it will remember the setting for this extension group for you and you only. So every user can have the ability to custom sort people however they want. You also have the ability to click on any column and sort by that as well. Simply clicking the Save button will allow you to save those changes so that they appear next time. If you don't click the Save button, it'll come back the way it was before. Bridge Operator Console also allows you to do a free-form transfer. If you're on a call and you need to transfer it to a number that's not in any of the system, you can simply do that by just entering the number here. We have settings that allow you to switch between a full console view and a mini console view, which may be helpful. If you're not a hardcore phone operator and you just want the information displayed with a little bit smaller footprint, you can switch the console to this view, the mini console view. All the functions are still the same. The parking lot and location objects are now external windows that pop out. Other than that, all the functions are exactly the same. Switching back is just as simple. Takes just a matter of seconds. This concludes our demo for today. If you have any other questions or would like to have a question and answer web demo with one of our training partners, please contact our sales team at partners@bridgeoc.com. Thank you. Doug.
Has left the conference.